Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm very good. Just trying to make my mind work after what happened in Formula One, which was a very, very crazy race. And yeah, it's just hard to commentate this after Formula One. Hello, Biggles. Hello, Ule.
Hello.
Good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're in the world. Just watching. My what? Sorry.
It's a microphone,
Jungle.
isn't it?
Says okay. Yeah, it's probably the microphone more than anything. We all know that. We've been through that situation before.
Clipping a lot.
Do you need me to bring my levels up on the end here? I don't know. We've been through this. Okay. All right.
Stay. You. Well, after Formula One race, like one we've just had, high expectations for this race at Tsukuba. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean we've
And,
seen at this competition in this championship some crazy races in ASR, but I do think that even though these races are virtual, it's not even as close as the Formula One race of today. It was crazy.
No, yeah, today was
yeah.
crazy. You can get some quite controversial moves in these races as well. Just take a look back at the last race we had at Charlotte with Joe Tapper and Benny Feech.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen a beautiful battle between the two of them, and in the last lap, Joe Taberner crashed with Benny Feech, and this resulting in Joe Taberner winning the race. I don't think that the English driver got any penalty after the incident, but I think there were some other penalties, if I'm not wrong.
There was a collision between Benny Feech as well, actually, and Sebastian van den Heuvel, where Benny Feech was awarded 2 penalty points due to what Sebastian described himself as a very slow dive bomb, perhaps even the slowest in the history of sim racing. Benny Feech making quite a late move, I would say, myself, ending up getting his front end connected with the rear end of Sebastian's car, and resulting in a spin, of course. But it's not a big field we have today. 5 cars.
Yep,
Is that wrong?
We have 5 cars at the Tsukuba circuit, which is a pretty tiny track, but it's a beautiful track. We have 9 corners, and it's very fast, very twisty, and every time it has beautiful races. Because I think left us, he I think has some internet problems.
Yeah, perhaps some problem. Just taking a look at the iRacing voice chat here. I see 6 drivers in the chat, so perhaps we'll see more people join us soon. Still 10 minutes to go of this qualifying session, sorry.
Yeah, we have
my time sheet. There's 9 drivers that should be with us today, and I did also notice that, unfortunately, a lot of the viewers couldn't hear me at the beginning of the stream because I messed up a couple of settings. But I am here now. Apologies.
Yeah, I think it may be a bit too close to the ending of Formula 1, and that's why I was a bit late as well. Wanted to see that podium ceremony.
Set this up in 7
At least
minutes.
some of
Record
it.
time.
Yeah, but I think we organized the race pretty well. But the biggest problem was the fact that we've had the 2 red flags. I think there was like 10 virtual safety cars, 3 physical safety cars. It was a mad race, a really, really crazy race in Formula One, and I'm sure that we will have a crazy race today in SR. But I was in the driver's chat before joining the commentators' voice chat, and yeah, I don't know which one of the drivers said it, but one of them said something like, "We should rename ASR in at least we're not the Saudi Arabian race." So yeah, I think we should take that into consideration.
Amazing.
But yeah, I'm curious, guys. What are your opinions? Very objective, but what are your opinions on the incidents and on the Formula One race?
Well, as I said earlier, it's very controversial, so I'm not sure if we should get too much into it. I think perhaps the driving standards of Verstappen could be improved. I think that's I'm not sure how to describe that, but I think I think it could be better. I don't think I want to get too much into it, just because it is so controversial.
Yep, I agree.
And I have my own opinion on it, which may be contradictory
Yeah, and I just
to some of the Dutch fans' opinions.
Yep, and I just feel like all of the race fans that Formula One had before this race, I do think that now they are not separated anymore. Like if there were any neutral fans, now they are not neutral anymore. Like now everyone I think has a favorite because after these incidents, it's impossible to not blame a driver and be on the side of another driver.
I mean,
And
I think,
Yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to tip over to one side or the other.
yep.
I think from my perspective of this race, and having to run these races for ASR as well, and thinking of it on a steward or managing perspective, I really think that the FIA has a lot to think about in the way that they run things. Like if we take
it's no
drivers
easy
out of the
task
picture
at
completely,
all.
then I think the FIA needs a bit of a rework, really.
Yeah, and I didn't understand at that point the penalty that Max have received, which put him 2 places behind and made him start in third after he cut the corner. Like it was some random decisions, but yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, watching the F2 race beforehand, all of the drivers that cut that same corner, every single one of them got a 5-second penalty.
Yep, exactly.
And it was decided straight away.
Well, I just hope that
was
not.
It was consistent stewarding for F2, so I don't know why it wasn't for F1.
Yep, I just hope that no one of our viewers think that we are biased because I'm just trying to be as realistic as possible. But yeah, it was a crazy race. But yeah, I guess we should come back to our race where Joe Taberner is actually leading the qualifying standings. Benny Fish is second, and Victor Hansen is now in third place. Joe Taberner and Benny Fish, if they will start in this order, they will be again side by side, and we've seen what happened last time when they were side by side. So I'm wondering, will we see any more incidents between the two drivers, or are things going to be calmer this time?
I think this track is a bit like Jeddah, right? It's very hard to overtake, and when you do get to overtake, it's into hard braking zones. Like this corner we see Sebastian go through here, it's not really an overtaking opportunity, I would say. It's more something like this hairpin here if you get a good run out of said corner. And then perhaps even as well down to the corner he's going to approach here after the back straight. And then turn 2, of course. And is it turn 3? 2? I'm not sure if you count the small chicane as turns. This one we see Kevin go through here. May be an overtaking opportunity as well. But as you mentioned earlier, it's a small track. It's not that fast if you are in a high-powered car. I remember doing an IMSA race at this track in the GT3s way back in the days when it was still called IMSA. I believe it's ESS now. Not too sure, but I remember that was not fun at all. But I think it's something like the Formula Vees that isn't. They're not very powerful. There's no downforce, and I think it's actually a track that's made for cars like these, right? Because you have so close battling.
Yeah, absolutely, and there is actually a shorter layout of this track as well. This is the 2-kilometer layout. There is one that's half the size, which is just insane. But this track is, it was built with the Japanese tuners in mind. All those famous, drift car tuners over in Tokyo. They all come to this track when it's open to test their tunes out. So it's quite a staple over in Japan.
So it's actually used. Oh,
Yep,
that's
it
a
is.
wobble from Kevin.
It absolutely is still used.
Yeah.
And mainly as
Well,
a time trial track.
Yeah, because that's what I was about to say. It's a bit like Limerock, I would say. A very fun track to just drive around at and do hot lapping at. Not very suitable for races in cars like GT3 or perhaps in GT4. I think that would be a bit too overkill for this track, but a very fun track, difficult track, very technical because it is so small. A lot of tight corners. And we see some of the drivers actually struggling to improving. Kevin and Sebastian not going green in any of their times, as we only have 3 minutes left of this qualifying session.
Yeah,
But I
their
believe
times.
there's actually a even smaller track next to this one.
Yeah, anyways, talking about the track, I'm looking right now at the track map, and it looks a lot like Zandvoort. I don't know if it's only me, but it's a very fast track, and it's a track where you don't really have a lot of time to breathe while you are completing a lap of it. And especially with these cars and with the battles that we have on this track, it's very hard, even if you are racing on a simulator or with a steering wheel. It's very tiring mentally because you are completing lap after lap after lap, and these races are so intense that it's incredibly tiring. And I don't know if the viewers actually understand the stress that the drivers are actually going through while completing a race, especially on a track like this.
And in the chat we have Octario, also known as Vees, saying that this track is understeer. These cars, yeah, I can completely agree. Also to know about these cars, gear shifting, 4 gears. Most of the track you're going to remain in 3rd gear. If you do try and shift it down to 2nd under braking, then you will lock up your rear wheels and spin around.
Yep, very hard to drive these cars. Even though they are not extremely fast, it's still very hard to drive these cars, and especially to go an entire race battling wheel to wheel, pretty much lap after lap. It's very hard. It's not as easy as a viewer thinks, and
As we see Sebastian.
Sebastian Van der Heuvel just proves what I said. Very easy to do a mistake on this track, and especially with these cars.
He's just using the end of qualifying to a bit more practice, I think.
I think he's the only car on track right now.
Yes.
Everyone is in the pits, so I think this means Joe Taberner wins the pole position in round 8 of ASR Road Series Racing, with Benny Fish starting 2nd and Victor Hansen in 3rd place. Kevin Stam is now running in 4th place, and Kevin Stam has battled the entire season for the championship. He have gone through some incidents, but I'm wondering, do you guys still think that he has a chance to battle to the championship? Because I think if he's fast, for sure he's fast, but if he would just keep out of incidents, he would have a very good chance for the championship. But as things stand, I don't know what to say. What do you guys think?
Yeah, exactly. Kevin Stam is a very fast driver, and he certainly has the pace to be up there and get the wins, but the consistency just isn't there. Some of the races he manages to get tangled with some of the other drivers when he certainly doesn't have to. So I think he needs to improve his racing a bit, perhaps even just try and keep calm. Think about the championship more than the race and just taking it a corner. So I think that's what he needs to improve on, the racing part.
And right now we have the grid up on screen. If any of my fellow commentators would like to read that out.
Yep, we have Joe Taberner in pole position for iRacing Road Race number 8. Benny Fish will start 2nd, Victor Hansen in 3rd place, Kevin Stam will start in 4th place. 3rd row with Sebastian Van der Heuvel starting 5th and Elias Schomer in 6th place. P7 for Chris Bassett and his fellow connational Charlie Lord will start in 8th place, and in 9th place and completing the grid we have Asim Chaudhry from UK. So we will be going very soon for the 5 red lights and we'll have the start. We're still seeing the starting grid, but let's see. We will now go for 5 red lights set of drivers and away we go. It's a beautiful start from Joe
That's a
Taberner.
nice start from Kevin Stam as well, up into P2. Getting side by side with Joe Taberner, I think, as he gets the inside line.
I think
No,
this
it's Victor Hansen, actually. It's
Hansen.
Kevin Stam.
Yeah,
He
Victor
goes
Hansen
into the lead here.
Beautiful start by Victor Hansen after starting in 3rd place. He's now leading the race from 2 places right after the start. That gives me Max Verstappen vibes, but he's in 1st place. He's leading the race. Very beautiful start. Joe Taberner in 2nd place. Benny Fish 3rd. Kevin Stam 4th. We are having very close gaps between all the drivers. Joe Taberner is putting the pressure up for the lead, but he's not trying anything crazy because he's thinking about the championship. He is leading the driver standings. Oh, and that's a spin. That's a spin for Victor Hansen.
Very unfortunate for the Norwegian driver here.
From the lead of the race, he spun around and he lost a lot of places. Let's see what happened. Did he collide with Joe Taberner? I don't think so. No, he just lost it on his
Goes in a
own.
bit too hot. Yeah,
Yep.
it goes into the rear end. Oh, who was that? I think, was it the SM? Yeah. SM
Oh,
trying
it's up
to
to
avoid
defense
the
team.
driver, but ends up spinning it instead.
Sebastian Van den Heuvel tried their move on. He touched.
that's Benny and
Kevin
Kevin.
Stam. Oh, just as we talked about before the race, Kevin Stam had to stay out of incidents. He's now into an incident, and he took with him Benny Fish.
Unfortunate for Kevin here. He really seemed to have the pace for following the leading drivers quite well, I would say, but I'll have to take a look at that one again and see if he could have done anything. Most likely could have.
Chris Bassett here making a move on Elias, or trying to.
That's a hard hit. Was that, I believe that's Elias Strömer going into the side of, is that Bassett?
Yep, that was
Yep.
I think it was, yeah.
in that incident there. And now Charlie
I
Lord
think
and
that's
Chris
Benny.
are fighting it out.
I think that's damage for Elias Stromer, if I'm not wrong. He was going slowly on the straight line, but wow, we're having again a mad race. What is going on with racing today? In Formula 1 there was a mad race. We are having a mad race today, and I'm wondering what are our viewers thinking about this race. Like, I would really love to see what are they thinking in the chat, because we are having some mad battles today in the race. And we're seeing after 3 laps completed, Joe Taberner is leading the race with a 4 seconds gap to Sebastian Van den Heuvel. Chris Bassett is in 3rd place, Charlie Lord 4th, and Elias Stromer in 5th place. Chris Bassett and Charlie Lord had the biggest gains after the start. Both won 4 places.
So
Yeah,
a
but
massive thank you to,
Sebastian
Victor.
getting up into P2, gaining 3 places there. And with a quite comfortable lead, I would say. 3 seconds back to Bassett and 2 seconds up into Joe Taberner. So let's see if he has the pace. Didn't really seem to have it in qualifying, but maybe his race pace is improved.
Also want to say a massive thank you to Victoria Arena, who has followed us just 7 minutes ago. Thank you very much.
So we are now seeing a battle for the 4th place. Charlie Lord is keeping the 4th place from Elias Schumer. My bad, it's the battle for 3rd place. Chris Bassett is leading and we're having Charlie Lord in 4th place. Both with a very, very good start. Both won 4 places from the grid. And now they are battling for a podium place. And yeah, Joe Taberner, I think he has a 4 or 5 seconds advantage at the front of the race after just 4 laps. It's going to be another dominant win from the English driver if he does no mistakes till the end, because wow, his pace is incredible on his track.
Yeah, I'd love to see where Joe is. Can't really see it on my screens, sadly. Can only see that Sebastian is managing to pull a bit of a gap to Bassett here. 3.5 seconds. No, that's 3.5 seconds to Lord actually. Bassett pulling a slightly bigger gap to Lord.
Yep,
That
and I'm
is-
wondering, will the strategies play any role into this race? Because we've seen 2 races ago in round number 6, in the first race, the one with the normal grid from the qualifying, we've had pit stops and a lot of the drivers gone into the pits for a quick splash and dash before going back out. And yeah, that played a huge role into the results of the race. And I'm wondering, will the drivers think about a pit stop in this race to play a different strategy, or will they go on their normal race? What do you think? Or what do you guys think?
Yeah, but we didn't see a pit stop last race at Charlotte, did we? Not as far as I remember, at least. We did have one in Alton Park, correct, as Kevin Stam is side by side with Victor Hansen now. This is battle for 6th position.
Oh, and
Very
they're
hard
going
corner to go
side
side by side, and Victor Hansen actually manages to get ahead of that battle.
It's very hard to go side by side, especially on the last corner, corner number 5, because it's so long, and when you are driving the car on that corner, it just feels like the corner doesn't end. And especially going side by side on that corner is incredibly hard. But we're now seeing Kevin Stam very close to Victor Hansen. He's surely thinking about the move to P6 because he was very fast at the start of the race. He had that incident with Benny Fish, who is now 6 seconds behind him. And I'm sure he wants to recover because he's still thinking about the championship. I'm sure of it. But again, with all these incidents, it's very hard. But I'm wondering, looking at this race, are some of the drivers like Benny Fish, are they thinking about the reverse grid? Like for Benny Fish, it's very hard to recover the gap to the drivers in front. And I'm wondering, will he purposely slow down in order to start from pole position in the next race? What do you think? Would that be a good strategy?
Well, this is a strategy they may take into account, but they will of course lose points. Doing so, it will be the faster driver starting at the back of the grid. So, unless they are gonna be blocked too much, I think they're gonna manage to gain a lot of position. So it's gonna even out at the end. But of course, a strategy to take into consideration.
Yep, sorry for
even
interrupting, but
aspects
we're having
like
a
this.
beautiful battle between Kevin Stam and Victor Hansen. We've seen them going side by side through turn 1. Kevin Stam is very close to do a move on Victor Hansen. He was ahead of Hansen for some seconds. Victor Hansen then came back, and we're now seeing a very close battle between the two of them. Victor Hansen started 3rd on the grid. Kevin Stam started 4th on the grid. They both lost 3 places. And I'm sure they are both very angry because both of them done mistakes on their own. But we are now completing lap number 8, going through the last corner. Kevin Stam is very close. He's seeing turn 1. Let's see, will he try one down inside? No, he doesn't. He just stays behind. He doesn't want to risk any more incidents, I'm sure of it. We're now watching Benny Fish, who is down in 8th place. Quite a lot behind his opponent, Kevin Stam.
Yeah, but Victor and Kevin is actually catching up to Elias again. I think it's going to be interesting to have a bit of 2A battle there for P5. It's going to be at the end. And of course, Victor and Kevin having more pace than Elias, otherwise it wouldn't end up in his rearview mirror. So it's going to be interesting to see as it goes, but a bit of a move. A bit odd, I'd say, but they are side by side here on the back straight going into the final corner. Kevin deciding which one he should stay behind, maybe a bit faster to go for the outside line here in the final corner.
Oh,
He tries to do a bit of a cutback. He does.
Oh,
That's Victor. Oh, almost saving it there.
Code Brown.
Did he?
Therefore, Victor Hansen.
Yeah,
He
he
saved
actually
it.
hit the wall.
Oh, and yeah, I think the pressure just got to him. Kevin Stam was so close to him. Victor Hansen there just very slightly touched the curb, and we just see how deadly curbs are on this track. And that last corner reminds me a lot of the Hungaroring track, where the curbs are as deadly as this track. But we are now watching Kevin Stam very close to Elias Schomer. Kevin Stam might get back another place. He tries around the outside. Oh, he just locks up. They're very close racing. Let's see, can he do a switch back? No, he can, but he's very close. Only 2 tenths between the two drivers, and on the slipstream, going through
Yeah,
the
now
last
it's
corner.
maybe Kevin's turn to go on the inside as he goes for the move.
Down his
Let's see if he's
side.
able to get past Elias. Doesn't spin in this corner as his competition do. They're still side by side going into turn 1. See who's last of the late breakers, as it seems to be Kevin making it through.
Kevin Stam, beautiful move down the inside there. Oh, and here I'm
Goes a
wide.
bit wide. And there's gonna be side by side again into another hairpin.
He
No,
just backs out.
Elias just... Oh, what a move from Kevin.
Oh, they're so close one to
It's
each other,
nice
but
time.
this is beautiful battling. No contact between the two drivers, no mistakes for any of them two. This is, I think, what we would like to see in Formula One, but we just didn't see that today. Kevin Stam just looks like he got the place, and he's now thinking maybe for P4, or will Elias come back?
My telemetry just telling me that we have had a crash from Victor Hansen, so we're just going to quickly go and look at that in the replay.
See, and this is the incident
that
from
was
before.
that
Kevin
incident.
Hansen, yeah, just getting on the curb and
Yeah,
spinning the car. Does he stay? Oh, he just manages to stay out of the wall.
my telemetry
Thought
obviously
he
being
was
a bit
gonna
delayed
hit it.
there. Going back live again.
That was
Yeah,
very
they're
close.
They're still side by side into turn 1. What a battle we're having for Kevin and Elias, and this is what we talked about, right? Kevin really, he does have the pace to be with some of the
Oh!
fast drivers.
That
Oh,
was
and it touched.
netcode. That... Oh my. Yeah, they didn't
Oh.
actually make
that's
contact then. I think
unfortunate.
that was a bit of a network
Really
issue.
unfortunate.
I'm not trying to be biased, but this time I just don't think Kevin Stam had any fault at this incident. He was
No,
just
I really hope that was net coding, because Kevin really seemed to have some good racing there.
You know what? Let's
Yeah,
take
but
a
I-
replay of
and
that to find
making
out.
some smart moves.
let's look at it. Kevin Stam was on the outside, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
big net code.
they did not make any contact.
not at all.
I mean,
that was all
Doesn't
network.
seem
That
like-
was.
Poor Kevin.
I feel so bad for Kevin. He does what he's supposed to and leaves the driver space, but unfortunately, just gets iRaced.
And hello, Zalfie in the chat. Good to see you here, dude. We've got Chris Bassett now, getting closer to Charlie Lord, although I said he was, now he's falling back a little bit. Also want to apologise that our time tower on the left-hand side is not currently working. Hopefully we'll have it fixed for the second race tonight.
Yep, Chris Bassett is very close to Charlie Lord. We might see a battle at the end of the race for a podium place. Chris Bassett looks pretty fast, but Charlie Lord looks like he's just controlling the pace, because the gap is staying around 1 second, 9 tenths, 8 tenths for a long time. But let's see, he locks up a little bit, Charlie Lord. But yeah, let's see, can Chris Bassett recover the gap, or is Charlie Lord just controlling? It looks like Chris Bassett is coming closer.
Yeah, and these guys have been fighting all race.
Yep, beautiful
Just
racing.
absolutely making the most out of the slipstream. He gets down both straights. But it doesn't seem to be close enough for any move just yet. I'm wondering if there's close battle between P1 and P2.
No, there
No,
are around
Unfortunately, can't
8
see the
seconds.
relative.
Seconds behind currently by Sebastian van der Hubel
Oh.
in P2.
Yeah.
Apologies, I know you can't see any timesheets right now because the timesheets are not working
I
properly.
was
on stream.
hoping for that. And let's see, looks like a bit of mistakes from Lord here, and Chris getting a nice exit.
So let's see, Chris
Will he be
Bassett
able
is
to
now on the
get side by
slipstream.
side?
Can he send one out the inside on the last corner? No, he just backs out, but he will look down inside. They are going very close, but Chris
Charlie
Bassett
cuts
just
back in to get the line.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to turn 1, I think. Still 2 tenths behind. Could go for a gap if he's feeling brave, but thinks better of it and stays behind.
the slipstream does help a lot on this track, especially with the long start-finish line and the long straight line between the second last corner and the last corner. But they are going very close. Let's see. We hope that we will not have any more network incidents. But because these two drivers look like they are going very clean, and yeah, they're having a beautiful battle with Chris Bassett putting the pressure up on Charlie Lord. He will try one down his side. Charlie Lord locks up a little bit, but he keeps up the pace. Let's see now the long straight line between the second last corner and turn 9. Will Chris Bassett be able to overtake here? Let's see. On the slipstream, he doesn't try anything. He wants to be even closer, but let's see. We will now be going through turn 1. Will he try one here? Let's see. No, he's still pretty far away.
Bridge too long up to the driver in front of him. Charlie Lord getting a bit of better exit out of the last corner, sorry.
Not to pull us away from this exciting action, but I do have on my telemetry that Benny Fage did just crash and allowed Kevin to pass for P6, so we're going to quickly look at what happened there.
Let's see what happened to Benny Fage, who started initially second.
Is that a spin? That is a spin.
Yeah.
And a little
Yeah,
bit
it seems a
or
bit
shifted
like
down too
the one
quickly.
we saw from Victor Hansen earlier.
Going back live.
Just carrying a bit too much speed into that final
Just
hairpin.
in time for Chris Bassett to pull out and try and make this move on Charlie. This time, he may make it.
But Charlie Lord will keep it round the outside. That's a beautiful move from Charlie Lord to defend his place. Charlie Lord puts a defense and a half to Chris Bassett, but he just might get the edge of his opponent. Chris Bassett is now up in third place, but they are still going
But
side by
that's the
side.
better line for this set of corners. They're
The
switching
curb.
back and forth constantly.
Around the outside, that's a beautiful move from Chris Bassett, and I think it's job done. Yes, it is. Chris Bassett up in third place, and I think he's now clear of Charlie Lord. But let's see, Charlie Lord is keeping pretty close. We will now be going through turn 8, and then we will have the long straight line before the last corner. Chris Bassett doesn't get an extraordinary exit of turn 8, but he still keeps his position. But this straight line is so long, it just feels like it doesn't end. But Chris Bassett keeps his place.
Yeah, and it seems like the outside line is the one to have going into the final corner. Wouldn't really call it a hairpin, but it almost is. Really carry a lot of speed through the one if you are on the outside, as we've seen multiple times in this race alone. So we have 2 laps left of the race. Doesn't seem like Chris is going to be able to catch up to Sebastian. 6.5 seconds ahead. We'll have to settle for P3 at most unless something happens in the front. Gonna be interesting to see if he can keep Charlie Lord at bay. Who's managing to keep up quite well, I would say. Half a second here. 4/10 going into the hairpin. And of course, depending on who gets the better exit, it seems like they are gonna gain 2/10 down the straight, but will not be enough to get any kind of move done on this occasion, fortunately.
Joe Taberner is going for another very dominant win, and I'm asking you guys, what do you think about his performances this season? We've seen in the first in round number 6 he got a very dominant win in round 1. In race 1 of round 6 he got another pretty controversial win in race 1 of round 7, and he's now going for a very dominant win, I think. But Sebastian Van he will have recovered a little bit. It's only 1 second between the two drivers. Let's see, can he recover the gap?
Yeah, but just talking about Joe, there's a reason why he is leading the championship. He has the pace to keep himself at the front of the grid and has the racing mindset, and is able to race people well enough to not take himself out of the battle, as we may see some other people on the grid not
Yeah,
having
sorry for
quite the same
interrupting, but
qualities, unfortunately.
I think we should be watching the battle between third and fourth because I was seeing them going very, very close in the background there. Charlie Lord was trying to get his move back, but I think he just backed out because they were going very, very close there through turn 8. And Charlie Lord is now trying to get his move, trying to get his place back because we all know he was in third place. Now he will try to get the place back, but he just doesn't look like he can. We are in last lap of the race, and this is the battle for third place, the last place on the podium. Oh, and that's a spin.
That will be Chris Bassett losing everything. On the
And now
last
Elias
lap.
Elias is
Stromer.
going to be able to do anything about this. He is close enough. Certainly 2.5 tenths going into this final happen. He may even be able to get some kind of move done into the final corner if he gets a good enough exit out of this corner. Seems like he's not quite close enough, I think.
Will the
It's gonna be about
slipstream happen?
10th going into the corner. But if he gets the outside line, I think he actually could make some kind of move work.
Round the
Looks for it.
outside.
Not quite close enough. I think one more lap and he would have had it. But it's a
Very
P1
close.
for Joe Taverner, P2 for Sebastian van der Heuvel, and then Charlie takes third, followed by Elias. And
Very,
Kevin
very
Stammen
close.
to P5.
Yeah, we had a beautiful race. Clearly much calmer, much more calmer than the Formula One race. Wow, it just feels, I feel relaxed after this race. It was so calm, so beautiful. Wheel-to-wheel battle, but no contacts, besides the one between Kevin Stam and, if I'm not wrong, Elias Stromer. Yep. But yeah, I wonder what are our viewers thinking about this race? How do they feel after this?
And any second, we will go to a quick break. I think. My timesheet is not telling me that yet. I'm just going to quickly find out. And there we have it. We do now have the results on screen for the first race, if one of you would like to read it out.
So, Joe Taberner, another win for him. Sebastian van der Heuvel in second place. Charlie Lord in third place completes the podium. Elias Stromer is in fourth place. And to complete the top 5, Kevin Stam finished fifth place after the incident at the start. Chris Bassett, sixth place. Benny Fish in seventh. Victor Hansen in eighth. And Asim Chaudhry in ninth place. And I think that's it for our first race of round number 8. We will be taking now a short break, and after that we will come back with the second race that will have reverse grid. So just stick with us. The reverse grid race are always incredible, and yeah, I'm sure we'll have another crazy race. Hello everyone, we are back for the second race of round number 8 of Anti-Stall Racing Road Series. We are now having reverse grid. The grid for this race is created by the results from the last race in the inverse order. I think we will have Asim Chowdhury in pole position.
The track temp
After what
is
happened
14
after he
Celsius.
finished
The air
last
temp
the
is
first race, but we
23
will
Celsius.
just have the
Here we go. Don't fuck this up.
official grid. No, we don't have the
Let's
official
go.
grid. We
2
have the 5 red
meters
lights.
remaining.
And away we go for round number 8, reverse grid. And that's a beautiful start for Victor Hansen. Benefice is in second
Benefice, of
place.
course, getting a very nice start. I think Elias actually gets an even better start. No, or is it Benefice? Yeah, of course, I'm confusing the two black cars. But Benefice, what a start he has. Gets up into P2 straight away. And let's see if Kevin is going to be able to do something about this. We know he has some pace to keep up with the leaders. And we know he has been able to get some clean racing here. So on the back of Bassett here, may even be able to get a move done into turn 1. No, the final turn, not turn 1. Sorry.
Can Kevin Stam just keep out of any incidents and finally get a good result? Because we know he have the pace, but we also know that Victor Hansen, who's leading the race, have a lot of pace because he finished qualifying in P3. He had a spin or 2 spins in the first race, and this is why he started in first place and finished last. But Benefice is just going down inside. Talking about incidents, Victor Hansen has gone very wide, and Benefice with the Alpine livery car just gone down inside and overtook him. So Benefice is leading now. Victor Hansen is in third place. Oh, that's an incident.
Oh, yeah, that's
is an incident.
Asim typing Bassett,
Oh,
I think, and then
4 car
tangling with
incident.
However as well. That's unfortunate. There's going to be a lot of changes in position there.
Yep, I think that was Van den Heuvel, Asim Chowdhury, and I don't know, Joe. So we have a safety car. Yep, we have a safety car. Asim Chowdhury was confirmed implicated in the incident. Sebastian Van den Heuvel also. Chris Bassett also in incident. I don't know if he retired. And Elias Stromer was the last car in the incident. So let's see the replay. What happened? That's Kevin Stam going wheel to wheel with Asim Chowdhury. Asim Chowdhury tried one down his head. Oh,
and it's netcode again.
I tend to think that was Kevin Stam's fault because he left no space to Asim Chowdhury, and that caused Asim Chowdhury to create what he created, that big incident.
Well, for me it looked like netcode from Kevin Stam once again, which unsettled the car, and then he just flies to the back of Bassett.
Yeah, that looked a lot like the incident between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton in the Italian Grand Prix. We've had now another car going flying, we can say. But yeah, now we have the safety car on the track, and we have Benefice leading the race. Victor Hansen is in second place, Kevin Stam in third place, and Joe Taberner in fourth place.
Yeah, I was about to say, Joe managing to get out of that incident cleanly and up into P4, and that's once again Joe getting right behind Kevin. And he's going to be excited about that one.
We are having an onboard view of this safety car, which is a Porsche 911 GT3. Beautiful car. And yeah, we are now having in top 4 the drivers that finished in top 4 in the qualifying. So the reverse grid didn't change much, did it?
No, not really. Not from the qualifying result, at least. We still have Victor Hansen, Benefice, and Joe Taberner in the leading 4 places. Of course, Kevin Stam getting up there as well. But those are the fast drivers we we do tend to see at the front of the races, especially the race 1, we do tend to see race 2 to be a bit more of an upset where drivers that doesn't really have the qualifying paces,
Oh, and there
they
are
come
incidents.
together in the back there.
Oh, and there are incidents. I think that was Asim Chowdhury again into an incident. That was, I think, Chris Bassett there at the back, and crashing under the
Quickly
seat.
take a replay on that one.
Let's see what happened. So that's Joe Taberner going slowly.
Oh,
Yes, that was.
Oh, touched the rear wheel there. Elias did, so he slammed on his brakes. Both of them just went a little bit wild.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
just
seemed like Elias didn't really anticipate Joe to tap on the brakes, and that sends Joe back through the field. No,
just a little
he's
bit
still
of
P3.
confusion there.
It wasn't Joe then. Who was it?
That wasn't Joe Taberner. I think that was his teammate. If I'm not wrong, that was Chris Bassett. But
Yeah.
we will now be going back to green because the safety car will come back into the pits at the end of this lap. We're just seeing the safety car coming back to the pit lane. And let's see. Victor Hansen, Benny Fish, Kevin Stam, Joe Taberner, the first 4 drivers. Who will be on top after lap number 5? Let's see. Benny Fish is now restarting the race. We're having green. Benny Fish leading into turn 1. Victor Hansen will try one. No, he doesn't. He might just lose a place to Kevin Stam, who will try around the outside. Will Kevin Stam go up into second place? Let's see. Yes, he does. Kevin Stam is up into second place. Victor Hansen has lost the place, but he will try to keep it around the outside. He just has to back out. Kevin Stam is up into second place, but Victor Hansen is keeping very, very close to him. Joe Taberner, the championship leader, is also into the battle, and we're now seeing the onboard of the safety car.
My apologies, camera error right there. There we go.
What do see it's into turn 1. Would love to be sitting there. But this Joe Taberner, not quite close enough for a move on Victor Hansen, it seems. Of course, Victor having the double slipstream from both Benny, Feach and Kevin Stam.
Oh, very close there.
They seem to have slowed each other down. And will Joe be able to make the best out of this one? It doesn't seem like they got back up to pace. Relatively cleanly, I'd say. Nice racing from Kevin. Getting up into P2 now, managing to create a bit of a gap down to Joe, but will he be able to get past Victor now? He does seem to be looking for the move. Not quite close enough on this occasion.
Joe Taberner, I'm sure he is thinking about the championship now. He doesn't want to do any mistakes. He just wants to take his points and then move to the next race. We've seen, though, he is wanting the race wins because when he was battling with Benny Fitch in round number 7, he did anything to overtake the Alpine driver, and they even collided in the last lap, in this resulting in Joe Taberner winning the race. But now coming back to what we're seeing live, Kevin Stam will try to go round the outside of Benny Fitch. That's a hard move to pull through, but he will try it. He cannot complete it. Benny Fitch will go to the inside to defend the inside. Kevin Stam will try to keep the outside. Kevin Stam round the outside through turn 1. Can he take the move to completion? No, he cannot.
Almost is. Still side by side, manages to keep himself on the side of Benny Fitch after turn 1. As he now is the inside side for this corner. That's Benny Fitch spinning.
That's Benny Fitch going around.
That's unfortunate. But very nice racing from Kevin Stam here, managing to keep himself alive for once. Really amazing performance from Kevin, and we see him improving quite a lot in his racing. Seeing him in race 1 as well. Having a...
But let's not put a commentator's curse on this, alright?
It's too late now.
I have just had telemetry saying Elias Stromer has had a crash, so we're going to take a quick look at that.
Last, of course, being the black car here. Is he
Rear
gonna
end.
have a spin,
Yeah,
or
rear end
no?
went
There's a
round.
collision between him and Is that Bassett? I think it is.
Going live.
Oh, and that's Victor Hansen very close to Kevin Stam.
Yeah, of
Can
course. But I
Victor
think Kevin may be able to get himself away from the situation. We see Kevin having a lot of pace when he is on his own and able to catch up to drivers, as Victor actually not quite side by side, but manages to get close enough to be able to look for a move into this hairpin we are going to come up to now, I believe. Thinks better of it, goes for the back straight and thinks about the final corner instead, as he doesn't quite get the exit to be able to get a move done into that one. But Kevin Stam, amazing race from the Dutch driver. So far, at least. Yeah.
Well, we're halfway there.
Gonna see
half
some
the race.
commentators present him soon. Was it race 1 19 laps as well? Wasn't that 18? Or am I remembering wrong?
Yep, anyways, we are seeing Victor Hansen keeping it close to Kevin Stam, but we are also seeing a battle there between Joe Taberner and Charlie Lord, the two teammates, or I'm not sure if they are teammates, but anyways, they are sharing liveries with Joe Taberner and Charlie Lord. Joe Taberner doesn't look as like he's as fast as he was in the first race. He doesn't look like he can keep up with the first two drivers, but he's still keeping there a podium place. He, as I said before, he's taking the points home, and yeah, that's very, very important for the championship.
Yeah, we see once again, even though Victor gets quite close into the hairpin there, he doesn't manage to get the exit done well enough to be able to go for a move here. And won't get good enough exit to be able to get any kind of move done into turn 1, not legally at least. Of course, could use Kevin as a barrier and slow himself down in that way, but that would not be something the stewards would like to see.
Yep. We're now seeing Charlie Lord in his...
But is this 3 cars running the same livery?
Yeah, Charlie Lord and Joe Taberner are sharing
What about
livery.
Bassett? Is he just riding a... That's just a white car.
That's just my car, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie Lord's livery is built by himself. I believe you can find it on his trading page online.
Yep, it looks very, very nice. I don't know if he and Joe Taberner talked about the liveries before and they agreed to be teammates or not. But anyways, it's beautiful to see teams in this competition and people sharing liveries, because as we all know, sharing is caring. But Kevin Stam doesn't want to share his win because he's keeping the defense up, and Victor Hansen just doesn't find any sort of space to go and get Kevin Stam. But only half a second between the first two drivers. Victor Hansen is keeping the pressure up. He knows that any mistake that Kevin Stam will do, he can overtake. He will be able to overtake. So, yep, just keeping the pressure up. He knows how important it is, and I'm sure that Victor Hansen is thinking that Kevin Stam have had a lot of incidents this season, and he's pretty vulnerable in these stressful situations. So Victor Hansen may play some mind games. He's very, very close going on through turn number 9. I don't know if he's playing any mental games because he wants the place and he will try and move through the first corner. No, he just backs out, but he's thinking about it. I'm sure he's just feeling the win and he will try to do a move as soon as possible. But this battle allows Joe Taberner to close up the gap, and he's now less than a second behind the leader.
Yeah, and I was really complimenting Kevin Stam on his race pace and was certain that he was going to be able to drive away from Victor Hansen, but it doesn't seem like it. Victor being able to keep riding his tail. As you rightfully mentioned, Joe Taberner now starting to get a bit of, be a part of that battle for the lead. But is that gonna help Kevin Stam in the end? He will of course have to go for a move on Victor to begin with, unless he gets 2 moves done at once, which I'm not too sure if that's possible at this track. But perhaps if those 2 drivers are gonna start battling, that will allow Kevin to get away.
Joe Taberner looks pumped. Looks like, oh, and that's an incident. Just what I said. Just what I said that Kevin Stam have had a lot of incidents this season, and this is another one. Kevin Stam loses a lot of places. Victor Hansen loses a lot of places too. And that's, so much bad luck for Kevin Stam.
Yeah, and that's Kevin Stam and Victor Hansen coming again once again. Come together once again. Didn't they do that in first race as well? In this one, actually. This is a corner.
I don't think so. I do think. Oh, and that's another one.
That's been taking a bit too much grass on the exit there. But just to compliment Kevin again, not his fault this time that someone drives into the back of him. This is not the same incident as we saw with Hamilton and Verstappen. Just to make a bit of a reference to F1. Gonna stop talking about that one now.
Yeah, Kevin Stam just... Yeah, a lot of bad luck this season. I don't know when this guy will get a break because he had a lot of incidents this season. Some of them were his fault. I don't think that this one was his fault at all. But just when I was saying that Joe Taberner, he looked pumped, he looked very fast, he looked motivated to get a win. But he really didn't have to do much because the 2 drivers that were ahead of him have collided. And Joe Taberner will now complete the last 2 first challenge with success. He's leading the race after starting last.
Yeah, so far at least, how is P2 compared to P1? I can't see that. Fortunately, we didn't get our standings tower fixed during our break.
No, unfortunately it's still a bit dodgy. I'll try and turn it on again now to see what happens. No, it is still very dodgy.
Yeah, we can see that Joe Taberner is leading the race though, which is what we also know. But again, Joe Taberner just shows us again why he's leading the championship, why he's very close to that title, because in every race he's just he keeps it out of all the problems. And now we are going on
great
board.
pace and clever racing, not getting himself into too many accidents. Of course, there was one with Benny Vees last race. She actually had quite huge incidents in both races.
We did just see a pit, by the way.
Pile-up.
Chris Bassett has pitted, and how long was it? 18 seconds for the pit he took.
Maybe few then. Could perhaps start to payroll. We are 15 laps into a 90-lap race. But you perhaps think that these cars are able to run for a bit longer than 18 minutes. I'm not too sure. How's the fuel? Is it capped?
The fuel should last the entire way, so that's a bit of a curiosity, that one is.
Maybe he is just trying a different strategy, but I do tend to think that it's a little bit too late to try any strategies like this one.
Unless
Anyways,
he was at the back of he was at the back of the group, so perhaps he's going for new tyres to try and get a fastest lap there.
Yeah, maybe.
Do we award a point for fastest lap? I don't think we do.
I believe there is a point for fastest lap, yes.
There is? Oh. So that could actually be quite a smart move, if he knows that he is not going to be able to do anything else about his race, as this is the battle for P1 and this is actually quite close to each other.
Yep, Charlie Lord recovered.
A bit less than 1.5 seconds between the first and third driver here.
Charlie Lord is also very close. I think there are only 4 tenths. Yes, there are. Charlie Lord is very close to Joe Taberner. Charlie Lord recovered a lot of ground after the incident between Taberner and Stam. And let's see, 3 laps to go, lap 17 out of 19. Taberner, Lord, and Huvel is the top 3. So, let's see, what can Charlie Lord do? He is now close to Joe Taberner, but yeah, I don't know. I do feel like Joe Taberner is just controlling this race. He haven't done one single mistake this entire day of racing. He's just so consistent, so clever, and yeah, he just looks like he's controlling the race. What do you guys think?
Yeah, of course, being pressured by Charlie Lord here, as it does look like a repeat of race 1 with the same top 3 here. 14th will not be able to get a move done into final corner with just 1 lap to go when he crosses the line. Or is it 2? It should be 2 laps, right? Yeah, 2 laps. It's a bit late in the evening, I am sorry. But I think actually if Joe keep his head down and concentrates, he will be able to go from some kind of move done into the final corner.
Yep, 2 laps to go. Joe Taberner is still leading the race, and it just looks like a procession that we have till the end of the race. I don't know, Charlie Lord just doesn't look like he's fast enough to try and move. Van den Heuvel may try to overtake Charlie Lord for the second place. He looks like he's the fastest one out of these 3. And yep, with that dragon livery, it is. Anyways,
It's an alligator.
alligator
Or
livery.
crocodile. I'm not sure which one.
And
But
there's also-
it looks like we've been raided by Flamingo with a spoon with a party of 5. And what a time to join this second race at Tsukuba in the Formula Vees, as Sebastian Vettel is really close to Charlie Lord. May look for a move into turn 1 here.
Last lap.
See,
We're now
less than a tenth behind him.
White
Goes for
flag.
the move. Manages to make it stick. Is that Charlie being alongside? Still it is. But Sebastian will have the outside line for this second hairpin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Flamingo with the spoon for the raid. Any of you guys want to drop us a follow and come join the Discord, and we run races like this every week. So if you fancy coming to join, come join us. The Discord link is in our bio.
But now let's see, we are having a battle for second place in the last lap, going out through turn 8, to the second last corner. Sebastian Van den Heuvel sends one down each side, locks up the tires, and I think that's him going up a place. But let's see, they're going side by side through
Yeah, it's
the
gonna be a
last
drag race
straight line.
into the final corner.
They're going side by side, and we all know how long turn number 9 is. Hopefully there will be no contact. It doesn't look like it's gonna be, but Sebastian Van der Heuvel just looks like he has the edge. Can he
see
go
side
for
by
the
side with
win?
Joe Taberner. No, it isn't, but
Oh, so close.
that was
But Joe
close. That's-
Taberner wins the second race of the ASR Road Series, round number 8. 2 wins today for Joe Taberner, and that's another incident.
Yeah, but he
that was
should be
post
busted
line.
down, so it doesn't matter too much. But what a waste from Joe Taberner, going 2 for 2 with a last to first challenge win. As we
Absolutely
joined by
insane
Andrew
finish
Schulter.
there.
Do you have any comments to make on this race, Andrew? You're allowed to. It's okay.
Okay, mic check, yeah. I didn't even get the chance to commentate, so whoops.
That's all good, man. It's all good.
Well, you're allowed to commentate now.
I missed it, but yeah. I didn't even watch the race, which is the bad part, so.
Well, here are the
Well-
results for the second race, as we see.
Our results are on screen if you want to read those out and finish us up.
Alright, I'll do the results. First, we have the 49, I believe that is, of Joe Taberner. Second, we have Sebastian Van der Heuvel. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, I don't know how to pronounce well. Third, we have Charlie Ward. Fourth, we have the 57 of Victor Hansen. Fifth, we have Kevin Stam. Sixth, we have Elias. I'm not gonna risk mispronouncing the name. Seventh, we have Aaron. 8th, we have the 7, because it's not showing. Oh, Chris Bassett. 9th, we have Benny, Beach, I believe so, in the 13.
Yeah, and it seems
Yeah.
like Benefice have left us,
Yeah.
being 13 laps down.
Joe Taberner. Now we are joined by Joe Taberner, the guy who won both of the races today. Joe, how do you feel?
Yeah, those were fun. I was trying to help my teammate out at the end. I'm sad he couldn't keep the position on Seb, but it was close racing, so yeah, fun. I want to apologise to Elias for a move in that second race. It was a little bit overambitious. I feel like I did hug the inside as much as I could, but I still tagged him and spun him, and yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And in the second race, you've done last to first challenge. You completed it. My question is, how do you feel just after 2 amazing races?
Yeah, I mean that was all. It's all fun. I love the reverse grid format. It's always, it's a little bit spicy. So yeah, it's lots of fun. Lots of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
thank you, Joe.
you got pole position as well. So it's actually pole and 2 wins. Is Tsukuba a track you drive at usually, or are you just that fast?
I've driven it a lot in other games. Not much in Sims, but
Gran Turismo 4?
I no Forza Motorsport. I can't remember which one. Maybe 3. But yeah. And actually, as well, we did when the Formula V first came out. There was a lot of races for it then. Around Tsukuba, they were good.
Yeah, and have you driven Tsukuba and any other kind of cars? We talked about it in the beginning. This is a track that suits the Formula V quite a lot, but something like the GT3, not so much. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. I tried the GT3 fixed races and they were just chaos. So, yeah, it's much better in a car like this. Something with little horsepower. It's basically just anything that's like a go-kart works.
Yeah, exactly. And we do have a sort of Corsa league with Formula Supreme, I believe they're called, as well as a GT3 league that have just finished, sadly. But do you race any other things?
No, I only race iRacing as a sim. I do LMP2 a lot, and then sometimes GT cars, but I'm not so good in GT cars.
So primarily single seaters.
Yeah, just I want to try. I really want to try the 3.5, the Formula Renault. Those races look fun. It also looks cleaner. I think for like open wheeler racing usually looks cleaner. I don't know what it is. I think people are afraid of the contact. So.
Yep.
Actually got a good question. Sorry for cutting you off. What's your opinions on, well, now that you mentioned the open wheels, what's your opinion on the Mercedes W12, I believe it is, coming to iRacing? Are you gonna race it when it comes out, or?
Oh, definitely. I want to get it. I missed out on the on what was that? What was the big
McLaren.
the Lara, the one that came out recently?
Oh, the
yeah,
Aero one.
Yeah. I missed out on that, and I've only driven it in test drives, but that one's so much fun. I just hope that the races get some participants, you know? Like, a lot of the times iRacing brings out new cars and they just never get the series never takes off, you know?
Yeah,
the only new ones that have is like the LMP2 races. From memory, anyway.
And the GT3s.
Yeah, GT3s. GT3s are always popular, right?
Yeah. Also, what's your opinion on the Hyundai and I believe the Honda coming to iRacing now?
Oh, really?
Yeah, we are having some TCR cars.
TCR. Yeah.
Oh,
So
sweet.
now we have the Honda, the Audi, and then the Hyundai.
Yeah, I like the Audi actually. I drive that quite a lot. I know my mate Charlie really likes that. They're fun cars to drive. Again, it's like just enough power to make them interesting.
Also, what's every car coming to iRacing tomorrow? The Brazilian stock car, because I know the '87 Buick is coming tomorrow. Is the Brazilian stock car coming tomorrow? That would be a lot of fun to drive.
Hope so. What's which is the sim that has all those in it already? Like all the Brazilian stock cars?
I think out of Mobusta,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they're from Brazil, so of course they would probably try that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Oh.
Would you drive it at Tsukuba? That's the final question for you.
I mean, definitely. Can we do a leak here? I knows.
We
I think
can.
that would be fun.
We'll do every race at Tsukuba.
Yeah, every race is
Yeah.
Tsukuba.
And then we only change the cars.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for the Lucas Pro oil trucks to be here for no reason. Or the cup cars.
V13.
That would be fun. That would be fun. All right.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. But thank you for having us, Joe. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
thank us for
Yeah.
having you, actually.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
the
you,
other way
guys.
around.
Yeah,
And thank you for the
guys.
great racing you provided us.
Oh, yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun.
You're welcome. But I think, do we have any other interviews?
Nope, I don't think so. I do think
No.
that this is it for today, if I'm not wrong, Gerard. Yep, that's it for today. Thank you everyone for joining us today for this race. It's been a beautiful day of racing. Pretty tiring coming just after the crazy Formula 1 race, but yep, this is it with the Formula Vees. Next time we will be going with the Caterhams, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, till next week, take care, and we'll see you guys next time.